Hey everybody, the following is an excerpt from the monthly Rahdo Roundup, and if you'd like to see the rest of the roundup, you can hit that eye up in the top right corner of the screen, or if you'd like to know more about the game, you can follow the link down in the show notes. And with that out of the way, let's talk about God of War, the card game. Now, this is based on an incredibly popular video game series. I played the first two back on previous generations. I haven't played the new fancy one, which is what this is really based on. It brings in characters from the new God of War that was on PlayStation 4. So I can't really say how well it captures the feel of the God of War video games, but I can say in general, my gosh, this game feels like a video game brought to card format. The thing God of War, the card game, does best is it's a cooperative game where players are working together to take down a series of encounters, and these encounters are represented by, I believe it's a 2x4 grid of cards that are all laid out that create one big picture that represents a whole bunch of different stuff you have to deal with, kind of like in a boss fight or in a level where you're getting attacked by a bunch of different things, if you think in video game terms. And all these cards are chock-a-block full of cool, interesting ways to interact because they're all two-sided. Like the most classic example is, hey, rather than fight the monster who has so much shields I can't hit him, if I knock the boulder that's up on the cliff above him, if I hit that enough so that the boulder falls down and crushes him, that's the better way to go because then his armor is shattered and now I can hit his soft underbelly. That's very video gamey type stuff, and this game is full of it, and it works so well. The core structure for how challenges to overcome through combat is presented is brilliant. Quite frankly, this game deserves to be in the top 10 based on the strength of its structural approach to creating interesting combat puzzles to solve. Or, combat. And now the other half of the game, though, is where it falters a little bit. This is basically a deck builder, and it is a deck builder on speed because you start out with not a very interesting deck, but every round you draw cards from a master deck that indicates what the bad guys are going to do, and then players get to draft from those cards. And so every round you're adding new cards to your deck. Your deck is getting bigger and bigger all the time, and that is pretty nice. My problem is the actual cards you're drafting are really simplistic. Think like the simplest of simple Dominion cards, and that's what you got. There's very little in the way of, oh, well, this is interesting. How is this card going to mix with this or that? The card play is adequate. The structural stuff you're trying to overcome with this adequate card play is amazing. Best of class stuff. And so the two combined, it fell a little bit short. Another issue I have with it is Jen and I were shocked just how easy it is. At least as a two-player game, we found it to be a cakewalk. And if anything, it just gets easier. It's interesting. The game levels up over the course based on choices you make about where you're going to travel to. The new bosses you fight get tougher based on other bosses you chose not to fight. That works very nicely, but as much as they level up, we level up so much faster. And Jen and I found it was really surprising. You can't put out a cooperative board game or card game without including difficulty levels, and they didn't here. That was such a huge oversight. So I'm super impressed by this game. But portions of it, but other portions I think work really well. But again, are really simplistic. The card play is so simple compared to the richness and depth of the world we're playing those cards in. It didn't rank higher for me and Jen. That's why it's at number 26, God of War, the card game. And thanks for watching, folks. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. It makes a huge difference, believe me. But with that out of the way, if you'd like to see some more, over on the left, you can find a playlist of a whole bunch more Rahdo Rapid reviews. Up in the top right, there's the latest thing that's been added to the channel. And in the bottom right, you've got something YouTube recommends. Okay, folks, thanks for watching.